Good morning, everybody. Edward Leos here, publisher of the Hotel Guide and your host of Travel Talk. Really excited about today's guest. A mutual friend connected us, and I'm excited to kind of hear her story and actually share her story with the world and our listeners. But Alejandra, how are you doing this morning?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you for having me on. It's such a pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. No, we're really excited. What corner of the world are you in right now?
I'm actually in Denver, Colorado, and the weather is just absolutely gorgeous right now.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So
Yes.
from Texas, San Antonio, Texas to Denver, Colorado, we've got some good connection there. So I'm excited about today's episode, like I said. But I like to do with all of my guests because our listeners are like, well, who are you talking to, Edward? And so how about you tell us, Alejandra, a little bit about your background, who you are, kind of how you got to where you are. We'll jump into some business and then ask you some fun travel questions after that.
Wonderful. Well, who am I? That's actually a really interesting question that you started out with that because a few years ago I had no idea who I was other than the labels that I had, the mother, the wife, the employee, the fellow investigator I did not know how to answer other than these labels that were attached to me.
Yeah.
Right now, I am just a human being living in this beautiful world and just growing day by day. So I am in, as far as my labels are, I am an intuitive, holistic esthetician that likes to do a lot of I just like people to feel comfortable within themselves. And a lot of times, people like myself a few years ago didn't know where you were, who you were,
Yeah.
and what makes you tick. So that's who I am.
No, those are all important thoughts, and I love your feedback on it. When you're talking about labels and you're talking about everything that goes into a person and what they are, it's interesting because when you ask that question, you get so many different answers. Obviously, your response is the first response like that I've gotten. So that makes it unique right there. But you're talking about the holistic approach to life and who you are, and I know that you're looking at or actually doing a big retreat that's coming up, and I wanted to know a little bit more about that end of your business and kind of tell us kind of what maybe got that idea going
Sure.
and a little bit about that.
Wonderful. So my approach to what I do is a perfect trifecta. It's the nourish, the balance, and the glow. So with the nourish, I started out with the retreats. So I felt like if you can't nourish yourself or if you're not really loving on yourself, you can't move forward. And that's,
Yes.
again, this is just my philosophy and what's worked for me. 3.5 years ago, I was so incredibly sick that I couldn't get out of bed.
Wow.
And it took that little bit to figure out, you know what? If tomorrow comes and I can't take care of myself, God only knows who's going to take care of me. So I started nourishing myself with sleep, with
Mm.
with what you feed yourself not only internally, but what you feed yourself in your mind. And one of the things that caused for me, I need to release somebody we're having a little bit.
It seems like you're cutting out just a bit, Alejandra.
Hello?
There. Yeah, you cut out for just a bit. You froze a little bit. So it looks like it could be the connection.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Can you hear me? Right. Okay.
perfect, perfect.
There we go.
So thank you so much again. So what I was saying is that it took me that being so sick to figure out what I needed to do within myself to live this life. And the fact that I was, waking up in the morning and still not being able to get out of bed. So one of the things that I ended up doing is out of nowhere, I decided to go to India by myself, not knowing anybody. At the point where I decided to go to India, I had two people that wanted to come alongside with me. I didn't know who they were, other than they were kind of on the same journey as I was.
Wow.
So when I got there, it was such an awakening that things that I thought mattered did not. Things that I was putting my self worth in didn't matter.
Yep.
Things that I thought made me who I was, far from the truth. So, and ironically, the last day that we were there, as we were going back to the airport, we got off to go pick up some last minute things. The lights went out, and all I could remember was minutes prior to that, I grabbed my passport. I grabbed like the important things to get me back to the United States
Hmm.
and put them in my fanny pack. I don't know why I did that. I just did.
Hmm.
We got off and the lights went out. Somebody broke into our car and took that backpack that I had, my passport and all the important things to get back to the United States. And within that backpack, there was like this security blanket that I had traveled for my almost 50 years, and that was gone. So to me, I'm like, that backpack didn't matter. What
Yeah.
mattered was what I was carrying with me all this time, that I could be on my own and I didn't need that security anymore, that I could actually break away from all the things that were holding me back.
Wow, that's a pretty valuable lesson there, and it brings in light to a lot of the stuff that you're planning on doing at the retreat. Tell us a little bit about this retreat and what you're planning to do there. When and where is it, and what could people expect from it?
Sure. So the place is Cuatro, Ciénegas, Coahuila, and it's basically where I grew up. It's a magical town. It's a magical town. It literally has the origin of life, not original life, not human life, but the microorganisms of life is there. And it's still there to this day. It was at one point underneath the Tetras Ocean, and now it's inland. So it's the Aquarius Desert, is what they call it. It's September 20th through the 27th, and basically we're coming back to source. We're coming back to who we are. It's like, that question that you asked me, who are you?
Yeah.
It's helping you get to that place of who we are in essence.
Oh, that's awesome. That's sounds like an amazing opportunity for people to be able to kind of reconnect with themselves and who they truly are. And speaking of reconnecting, I know that travel does that for a lot of people. And we're
Yes.
going to switch a little to the personal side of things here. But tell me some of your favorite travel destinations that you've been to so far, and then I'm going to ask you, what are some of your bucket list travel spots?
Oh, absolutely. Well, that transformational moment was India, definitely without a doubt. I've also gone to Turkey and I've taken a mother-daughter group there, and that was pretty amazing. But I think if you asked me what my favorite place was, that one, and it was just because it was so transformational for
Mhm.
me. What's on my bucket list? Holy moly, I've been wanting to go to Egypt. Egypt has been on
Yeah.
my bucket list. Yes. So that's something that it will happen. I am also going to Bali this year too, which has also been on my bucket list.
Wow, you're knocking off a couple of cool things there. What's drawing you to Egypt?
You know what? I actually need to lean into that because I've always been connected to Egypt. I don't know if this is a past life thing, or if it's something that I just need to, kind of lean into it. I don't know, but everything about Egypt has always fascinated me. The culture, the
Mhm.
experience, how they lived way back when and still
Yeah.
live today. It's just fascinating to me.
No, that's definitely, well, that's a question now that you can you can create from it.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
what draws you to Egypt? I mean, I think travel draws each of us to different places for different reasons. And you know, nowadays experiential travel is one of the top things for a lot of people. I think post pandemic, experiential anything is becoming heightened for travelers and for people. But it's really, what are you doing with your life and how are you experiencing? And again, what goes back to your point at the very beginning of our conversation is what matters, what truly matters in the whole grand scheme of things. Is that thing going to matter 2 days from now, 2 weeks from now, 2 years from now? And so travel really does that. And I think retreats are starting to really do that too. I love what you're doing with your retreat. It gives people the opportunity to kind of know a little bit about themselves and come back a different way, back to where they
Absolutely.
are.
And
Uh,
I think the
but
biggest thing, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
interrupt. I think the biggest thing of our retreats, it's not necessarily the retreat itself, although that has a lot of value in it. Actually, it has a lot of value in it. It's what you do after, what
mhm.
you've learned from the retreat. Because you can go in and and everything can be butterflies and roses and this and that, and you're literally releasing a lot of stuff. But if you come back and you don't integrate what you've learned, then you really haven't learned anything. And that's the important part of the retreats, of our retreats specifically, that you come back to a group of supporters. So you come back, you go with not knowing people, you come back knowing people, and then you have these group of supporters that you literally make friends for life.
No, definitely. Well, it's a heightened experience, so there becomes that emotional attachment and all that goes on. It's a normal human response to something like that. How many people are you looking to have at your at the retreat?
We're doing no more than 13. And the
That's awesome.
reason for it is because it's very intimate. It's very, very intimate. We're there to help support whatever it is that you're bringing into this space. Because some people might need a little bit more support. Some people might be okay with, just kind of being on their own. But we want to make sure that you're supported, that if you're going through something big, that you have the ability to have the space, the safe container that we can hold your hand and walk you through it. So it's very intimate. We are planning on doing, 3 to 4 per year, but that's why we have them so small, because they are intimate.
No, that's awesome. And I think that's a great way to start and a great way to go. That personal touch, that intimacy is always an important thing for not just travelers, but for anybody who's looking at bettering themselves. So we got a couple of minutes left.
Sure.
Any final thoughts? Best way for people to connect or learn more about the retreats or yourself? What's that look like for you?
Sure, thank you. So I can be reached. I have a website, caminoencantado.com. I also can be reached at, I've got my social media handles, which is again Camino Encantado. That's the handle on Instagram and on Facebook for that matter. And you can find out about my next retreats, the previous retreats, and the one that's coming up in Ciénegas, which is we named it Coming Back to Source. So that's what it is. We're coming back to source.
That's awesome. Well, it's actually been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast today, Alejandra. I love your insight. I love your energy that you have. You can feel it in the screen as well. And
Thank
even through the technical difficulties, we still make. This is what I love about the authenticity of life. It's not perfect, and it's not meant to be. And we got through everything, and we got this great communication and things that are going on here. But thank you for being on the show today.
I appreciate it. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on the show.
Oh, perfect. Well, to all of our listeners, readers out there, followers, you know the drill. Follow thehotelguide.com. Subscribe to our newsletter and magazine there for free. And then also at YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe that. And then follow Alejandra on her handles as well. They've got some great things going on, changing a lot of people's lives and making this world a better place. And so, like I like to always say, travel and make memories. And until next
Absolutely.
time, everyone, take care.